More lows are on the way for the market. Now, before I break down the charts, I do want to just point out that this news that I was expecting, I was talking about it on Twitter. I was talking about it in the Discord. I think I mentioned it in last week's report. Definitely mentioned it on the podcast that recorded on Wednesday, which is also up now. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a long podcast, but I had timestamps in the bottom. We covered a lot of topics, including this one as well. So I'm not going to hover over it too much. But China said that they're going to buy $5 billion worth of semiconductors from NVIDIA, and Biden turned around and smacked it down. This is exactly what I was expecting. The market had a major sell-off on this news. I don't really know how, because I feel like it could not have been more telegraphed for those who are paying attention. And if you were a holder in that company, you should have been laser focused on this. And if we look at the charting for NVIDIA, we can see that we've broken one of the major Fibonacci levels to the downside. We have your eyes on this 618 retracement. Stocks love to retrace to these levels. If we see that break, look for likely 310 on the stock. I think if you're hitting this level, you're likely seeing some more greater market turbulence. Maybe recession is becoming the base case once again if we do see retracement all the way back there. But I think it's really important, because even I've mentioned that ChatGPT 5 is likely what will lead to the fifth wave for this company. But when you have an elongated extension like this in the third wave, first of all, remember the third wave is usually going to be the largest wave in a 5-wave pattern. So if you're doing an Elliott waves on your own and your third wave is not the longest wave, you likely have done a miscount. So the fifth wave is not going to be as large as the third. And when you have a case where you have this big of an extension on the third wave, usually your fifth wave is very truncated. So in this case, we may see that the fifth wave for NVIDIA doesn't even break the previous high that the third wave produced. And that would be in line with what you typically see with Elliott wave analysis. So if we do retrace all the way back to 310, at best, we might see a double top at 480 be produced by the stock. It might not break that high. That might be the high for NVIDIA in particular for the year. And I think how that fifth wave develops all depends on how good ChatGPT 5 really is, because I think that is what's likely going to cause this fifth wave. Remember, OpenAI has said a few times that around October we should see the release of that newest update. And I also want to briefly cover TQQQ. One of the members in the Discord said that a lot of people have been telling him that technology has bottomed. And remember, TQQQ is a leveraged product of QQQ, which is an index that covers the top 100 technology companies in the US. And so when we look at this, remember, this is going to be highly correlated with QQQ, right? So where this goes, it means that's likely where QQQ is going. I'm simply pulling up this chart because this was the chart that he had requested. And as you can see on this chart, we're seeing from the broader sector that it has not bottomed as well. We're seeing that we have had this third wave extension on the index is not as exaggerated as NVIDIA, meaning that the fifth wave could have a higher potential of actually hitting a new high at the end of the year. So maybe there's a final market rally. It's broader. There might be hints of that. Maybe NVIDIA won't be leading the way like we saw earlier in the year. It remains to be seen, though. It's just a hypothesis. And so we're looking at this retracement. I would look for QQQ to pull back to 37, maybe all the way back to $30. And subsequently, I'm also short on other major tech companies. Apple, I'm looking for a touch at 170. Amazon, I'm looking for maybe all the way to 120. What is that? It's hard to see on the chart here. 123 pullback. When we look at Tesla's a bit interesting right now because I think Tesla's in an ABC at the moment instead of this being a 1, 2, 3, because I have a very solid wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing out right here. And actually, let's reconfirm this because this is old charting and I'm doing that the wrong way. We want to go from the bottom here to the top of wave 1. Look at the extension here to the third wave, fifth wave. That might not be the most solid. So this is likely your wave 1 Let's see if the retracement there matches up from the bottom to the top. No, that looks a bit goofy. That's not quite right. But if I measure this like that, it's also a bit goofy. Although the extension from the bottom to the top, and it also is not quite aligning. Unless this is the end of your third wave. This is small fourth wave, fifth wave, wave 1, 2, 3. That might be it. That might be the wave count there. So usually I plan these before I start recording. So let's say that this is 1, 2, that's in 4, 5. If this is wave 1. Can you tell I'm sleepy? That's about right. Extension to the way up for the third wave to be the top there, which means I'd want to adjust this to from the top to the bottom of the third wave. I'll remove that one. So we're basically at the 618. If we see a clear break here, look for a visit to 208. And I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this because this is going to screw me up in the future. Let's go ahead and update the charting here. And that previous chart had actually worked out really well because I've been trading Tesla a lot this year. So if we see a break of this, then this could potentially be a bottom. And then if that is the fifth wave, we could see Tesla come up. Now, if that's wrong, and this is it doesn't look like an ABC though. Unless this is your ABC here, developing here, ABC. If you chart that out, I wonder if there's a 3-wave pattern here. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That actually works out really well. So this might be a wave 1 and then maybe a mini wave 2 here. Let's see what that looks like. That's not very clean. I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to go with this for Tesla right here. Maybe this is a wave 1, retracement here, because that was pretty clean, wasn't it? Yeah, that's pretty clean. That's a clean extension as well. That's the cleanest one here. Remember, Elliott waves, not a science. This is an art. And usually I don't do these live, but this is what I'm doing when I'm doing Elliott wave analysis. If you want me to do Elliott wave analysis on the company, join the Discord and I'll do one for you. I'll share the chart with you. But this looks like the potential I'm seeing for Tesla right now. And looking at the daily, let's look at the weekly showing for the TTM squeeze. We see this still rolling over. So yeah, I mean, the stack could go back to $200 before we see another rally here. And this is going to be really interesting to see if we actually get that extension. Actually, let's go back and look at, because that was just that wasn't a super elongated, right? Yeah, that was a pretty normal extension from the third wave. So maybe we do see a truncated wave 5 here, but there's potential. There's potential for Tesla to basically double top coming into the end of the year. Not quite. You're still $20 off, but that'd be pretty big for the stock. And to end this week's report, I do want to revisit IonQ. This has been one of my top performers for this year. This one in SYM is probably up there as well. Got over 200% return on shares from when I initially announced that I was accumulating a position in this company in the Discord. So this has been just a huge win. I did unload some coming up into this rally. I did not time the top here. This extension was well beyond my targets. Into earnings, I also didn't want to have a lot of risk, but we actually had a great earnings. This company had 111% growth compared to the same time period last year. So they're doing some solid innovations as well. They are hoping to be the leader in the quantum computing space by 2025, which is really exciting. I've also been reading a lot of research when it comes to quantum computing and AI. So it's very exciting here. I liked how earnings went. As you could tell, the stock market did as well. However, when I look at the technicals here, we can see that the hour TTM squeeze is rolling over. The daily looks bearish as well. And so when I'm looking at these, Fibonacci levels. I would love to buy some more, buy back what I had sold around $13 for this company, although I currently already have a position. I also would probably like to buy some option leaves all the way out to 2025 as well, because it seems to be, and it's probably too early to tell, but it seems to be like this could be the leader. And so that'll be huge. This company looks like it has an insane ceiling, and I'm really excited about the future for this one.